This is Better Moody, and you're listening to The Way Forward. What does it mean to stand inside power you can't control? At the crest of Niagara, the river is calm. Sheets of water glide forward in silence, smooth as glass, unaware of what awaits. But the ground ends abruptly, and the calm is gone. The water plunges millions of gallons a second, crashing into thunder, shaking the earth beneath it. Mist rises in thick white veils, bending light into rainbows that appear and vanish in a breath. The roar devours every other sound. Time itself seems suspended in the fall. Far below, a boat drifts in the basin's fury. Its deck swarms with Americans cloaked in identical blue ponchos. A herd huddled against the spray, bright shapes dissolving in the mist. Each of them carries a story, a boyfriend pulling his girl closer as the boat lurches, her laughter breaking against the roar, disappearing, dissipating. A woman angles her phone, desperate to capture the rainbow before it vanishes. It's not vanishing. A resolute face blinks. All the faces are lit with awe. Every life, every choice marked by possibility. Thousands of futures branching outward like fractals, infinite in the possibilities of the direction that it may take. Infinite in its design. We see them in passing, some faces we may only witness once in this life, drifting past the laughter, the small movements, the awe. One particular figure among the herd stands steady, though the boat rocks, her outline blurred by water, her gaze fixed on the wall of falling sky. Curly hair, glasses. She's small against the immensity, fragile against the roar, and yet she does not vanish. What is next? Feet wet, senses alive, blessed to partake in the beauty and wonder the world still offers. Winter is coming. Family dynamics shift. Will we move? PCS, or will we stay? My eyes are fixed on this figure in blue or purple, enduring at the foot of thunder, caught inside a power she cannot control. You know, I thought there was a National Lampoon show about Niagara Falls. Do you think Chevy Chase, do you think he has one more show in him? I think that would be awesome. I think many of us just imagined it, right? Because I looked it up online, I'm not sure. I expected the town to be more vibrant when I went to visit Niagara Falls, but there are some economic failures that have caused it to become a little rundown town. Oh, my soul. I'm not ready to stop building. That's not the metaphor for me. I think there's change coming. And this is the end of something. It's the end of September. When I came home and I met my kids' faces, I felt renewed. I felt guilty for going, but, it was a work thing. And yet we were able to do this activity. When I came home and I met the googly eyes of my kindred spirits in these little baby bodies, my children, it just felt as if I hadn't seen them in years, and they had grown somehow. They missed me and I missed them. Perhaps that was it. Everything feels fresh at that moment. But this is just the end of September. That's it. I don't know if you're ready for that. I might be ready for that. I am ready for the pumpkin spice lattes and the jack-o'-lanterns and the hay bales. But I'm not ready for the end of things. So, are we ever ready, I guess, is the question. Readiness is a myth, right? Don't tell that to the army, of course. I'm not sure who said it, but readiness is a myth. Courage is what matters. Courage. I visited the falls with my work team on a staff ride. That's what it's called. It was my first one. And typically, each person researches a historical event of significance. And then we travel to the different locations, and each person will present their piece, their corresponding piece that aligns with, it's like a field trip for adults. So for Niagara Falls, what it was in the early 1800s compared to now is drastically different. In the early 1800s, long before tourists were in blue ponchos, Niagara Falls thundered. It was the backdrop to war. The Niagara Falls, well, it was the river. The Niagara River was more than a wonder of nature. It was a lifeline. It was a corridor between Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. Whoever held it controlled the flow of supplies, trade, and armies. On the American side stood Fort Niagara, stone walls bracing against centuries of conflict, and across the river, the British held the heights at Queenston. The War of 1812 turned that landscape into one of the most violent frontiers, and now it's a tourist attraction. It was the roar of the falls mixed with the crack of muskets and the smoke of cannons. At Lundy's Lane, just miles from the mist, thousands fought through the night. There was so much grief and angst and tension. It was one of the bloodiest battles ever fought on Canadian soil. The soldiers who marched there, carried their own private fears and choices, just as the visitors do today. But unlike today's tourists, their blue coats weren't ponchos. They were uniforms soaked in rain, sweat, and battle. And the falls remained indifferent, cascading as they always did, watching empires rise and fall. To stand at Niagara then or now is to feel the weight of power, natural and human, and to wonder what story will be written next along its edge. I'm not sure what's next for this soldier girl, but I believe we will find out together. What do you say? You're listening to The Way Forward, and I am your host, Better Moody. Get ready for October.